What's up, everybody? I'm Dreadful Gooz. I'm here at Murder the Mix Studios, and today we're going to be talking about Marshall amplifiers and how I accidentally bought one. So for many, many years, I have hated Marshall amplifiers. I thought that they were extremely overrated, that they were, way overpriced. And I was just like, I can't stand these amplifiers. I never want one. They absolutely suck. And I don't know if it's because now I have more experience. I've been playing a lot longer. I run a studio and I have more experience dialing in amps and getting certain tones. Maybe it's just I'm becoming old, but lately I've been obsessed with Marshalls. I have found myself going down the rabbit hole of, the JCM 800, and then there's the 2203, and then there's the 2204, and then there's, the JMP, and I'm having a lot of fun doing a lot of research and watching other guys play with their Marshalls and getting these certain, high gain tones. And I don't know, I just lately have been really digging the Marshall sound. Now, I've always been a fan of amplifiers, typically on the American side of things, that have 606 power tubes. And recently, I've really been digging amplifiers that have that British tone that are EL34 amplifiers, such as my Cali. I think the Cali has kind of gotten me into the whole, maybe these Marshalls aren't that bad, because essentially the Cali is like a hot rodded plexi if you think about it. And I'm really digging the whole Marshall sound and tone. There's a couple of guys I've been watching on YouTube lately that have a lot of Marshalls, and they have different variations of the same amplifier, like I mentioned earlier, the 2203, the 2204, and that stuff is really cool to really see all the differences between each amplifier. And, being a studio engineer, we're all about that. We want to find the different tweaks in the different amps and the different tones and sounds you can get out of this guy and not this guy. So it's just, it's a bunch of gear, guitar nerdery, but I'm really enjoying it. I think one of the many reasons why I've always hated Marshall amplifiers up until now is because every time I played them when I was younger, they were always in a Guitar Center, and it was usually the cheap, Chinese made stuff, or it was in a really bad, crappy rehearsal studio where the speakers were destroyed, the cabinets were horrible, speakers were blown out, amplifiers had faulty tubes and a whole bunch of things wrong with them. So obviously I never got the full Marshall experience up until now. As I've said, I've been going down the Marshall JCM rabbit hole lately. And just like I'm sure many of you do, I browse the sites like Reverb and eBay and all these other little places like Facebook Marketplace, looking for deals on amplifiers and guitars and things that I may not necessarily want. I click that little star and I favorite it just in case one day I may want to buy it. Please take my advice. Do not do this when you're half asleep, because you may accidentally pass out and your finger may click something that you shouldn't or didn't mean to click. And so this is how I ended up with a JCM 800. So last night I was doing exactly what I said, browsing eBay, and I ended up stumbling upon a vintage Marshall that had not been modded. So it's it's very rare, because all the JCM 800s were bastardized and modded, and a whole bunch of things were done to them. So I found the JCM 800, and I slowly was passing out. It was maybe 4 in the morning or something like that. And I had the phone here, and all of a sudden I go like this, and I passed out. I ended up hitting commit to buy, and then I got stuck with purchasing a Marshall. And then afterwards I was like, what do I do? Do I cancel this order? Do I, try to finagle my way out of it? And then I was just like, damn it, I can't cancel this. And so I ended up spending $2,000 that I didn't want to spend. But, you know, I was pretty pissed at that point. But then I was just like, you know, I kind of have been, maybe it's fate. Maybe it's like the universe saying, you need a Marshall. You need a JCM 800. So it shipped today, and I should be receiving the amplifier sometime this week, or if not next week, early next week, because it's coming from California and it's being shipped all the way here to New Jersey. And I am actually very excited to play this thing, and I want to pit it up against the Cali, because those are two amplifiers that they kind of share similar DNA. You know, the whole EL34 vibe, the whole British sound. So I want to see how they compare to the two, which one has more gain, which one is more articulate, which one sounds more, I guess, vicious. So that's going to be a really cool shootout that I'm going to be bringing to you guys, hopefully at the end of this week, and if not, sometime next week. Some of you guys watching this are definitely Marshall fans, and I'm sure you know way more than me about the whole subject, about, you know, JCM 800 or JMP, and, you know, vertical inputs, horizontal inputs, that whole thing. So please share with me down below in the comments section all that you know about, you know, your favorite Marshall or your favorite, you know, JCM 800, JMP. I would love to hear about it. Also, for you hardcore Marshall guys, let me know what is your favorite version of the JCM 800 or the JMP, and let me know why. Now that I have a good studio set up, a good environment in which to blast this as loud as I would like, a really good speaker cabinet or several really good speaker cabinets, I'm really excited to get the full Marshall experience. The moral of the story for today, kids: do not shop for gear when you are half asleep. You may end up blowing $2,000 on an amplifier that you don't need. But at least in this case, it is an amplifier that I did want. So I'm stuck with it now, and it may be the best purchase that I've ever made. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and follow all my social media links down below. Peace.